Hey guys, this is Tom with DraftMagic.com, and I'm here to kind of talk about Standard a little bit. Um, this is a deck that I made entirely for fun, and mostly as a joke, just because I was really sick and tired of dealing with removal for my creatures. I had been building kind of a blue-white aggro deck, and so anyways, I kind of made this as a joke. What wasn't a joke was how it started performing, which really kind of was interesting. I have run it a number of times against blue-white red control, against Reanimator, against zombies, and it's been doing pretty well, which is kind of hilarious. So we're going to go through, a couple two-man queues here, see how it does. Whether you want to play this sort of as for fun or not, it is hilarious and it's a blast to play. But we will see you for the next game. Part of what I like to do in Standard is really kind of create my own brews, really build kind of more rogue decks. I'm less interested in playing kind of just the tried and true, either green-black zombies, 4-color Reanimator, blue-white-red miracles deck. Yeah, I want to play something interesting. And so, kind of what led me to this. And kind of while we're waiting for the queue to pop here, just kind of going through how the deck operates. Basically, you've got 8 different creatures, and then you've got a couple near the higher end that are hexproof, that can't be targeted by their stuff. You use sensory deprivation and the O-rings and the detention spheres to get rid of whatever their threats they have, and then you throw on some ethereal armors, spectral flights, and curiosities, and just go the distance. And that's really about how simple it is. One note that I will say about ethereal armor is it looks bad like most of the cards in this deck, but when you have O-rings and detention spheres and sensory deprivations out, it actually gets pretty big. But anyways, here we are. We are going to be on the play, and we don't want to keep this hand because we A, don't have a creature, and B, don't have any business. This hand is also pretty iffy, but I don't think we want to go down to 5. The other thing is that you don't necessarily need to have a creature right away with this deck. Just because we've got our Revenant in hand, we're going to go ahead and actually play the Fountain first here. Try to pick up a little bit more land. And once again, take this deck with a grain of salt. It is for fun. It is largely a joke. So, with that in mind, guess we should have played our Evolving Wilds first there. Gonna take some damage here, and then we're gonna start having fun. So we're up against green-black zombies, probably pretty close to Jerry's list from the SCG Open. And most likely has another 1-drop here coming out. Would be highly surprised not to see one. And actually, the funny thing is that, Divine Favor really does play a pretty big role against the aggro decks, just by getting us that extra life back, while we can kind of keep racing. So here, he's probably going to go Messenger. There's the Messenger. Now at this point, we can go ahead and O-ring his Messenger, and still be on the losing end here for a little bit. That's fine. Okay, and there's Rancor. That's that's rough times. Alright, so now let's see. I think at this point we can just attention sphere his guy. We'll get his rancor back. We'll have kind of a turn of breathing room here. We could also just drop Favor and Grafdigger's Cage, and then, you know, kind of swing the life back a little bit, keep bashing. So, but I think, yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and I think we're just going to go ahead and actually drop Sphere. And he's going to kill his guy, and that's fine. Because honestly, we just wanted the turn of respite here. We're not getting attacked for 4. Alright, so now we really get to have some fun. Drop Grafdigger's Cage, and Spectral Flight going. And now it gets kind of hilarious. Because he's got probably a handful of removal which he's not able to use, and that's funny. So here I think we actually take the hit and keep bashing. And yeah, Diregraph Ghoul is not going to get it done. Alright, so double Rancor on his Diregraph Ghoul. Pretty hilarious. So I think we just drop Lone Revenant and laugh our way to the bank. And that should do it. Yep. So there you have it. Game 1, beating green-black zombies. Alright, so our plan here on the defense, see, we're basically going to cut the Revenants because they're pretty slow, pretty bad. Cut the Curiosities against aggro here. We're going to bring in Pacifism, Divine Favor, and Sensory Deprivation. Dramatic Rescue is pretty hilarious, especially with Rancor. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of the same, but still just fine. Honestly, Grafdigger's Cage is definitely fine here, but we're not really killing his creatures. I mean, it doesn't really do much for us. We're just exiling his creatures or bouncing them, so yeah, we don't really care. Other than that, we could bring in Jace here. Jace is largely brought in to essentially counter other Jaces, but I mean, it's certainly fine. I kind of like Bruna as a big endgame get there plan, and it's still a creature. It gives us another creature we can draw upon, but Jace might just be better here. I think I'm gonna go with Bruna though. Well, let's see if we could like cut Bruna for Jace. Maybe cut like a Spectral Flight and Bruna for double Jace. He probably doesn't have removal big enough to deal with Bruna. It's also probably too slow to matter in zombies. Yeah, and I think we want to cut... Actually, we probably want to cut one armor here. It's probably not as good as Flight for what we want to do. We'll get our Jaces going. And this hand is just fine. It's got nice early game. Sensory deprivation to deal with whatever he plays turn 1. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect target for it. Probably never seen that card played. Here comes the troll. Yep, and that's fine. It's a perfectly good O-ring target. But I think we want to get our Geist online here before we... Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, so... We're going to be taking a little bit of damage here, but I think we need to get Geist going. Yeah, this part's gonna hurt a lot. Whew, alright. So we take 9. Now we need to O-ring his Bloodthrone Vampire for sure. And we may just be knocked out of this one. Can try to race here. It's going to be a little iffy though. He's got Rancor. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to... Ugh. I think we got to try to race. Hope he doesn't kill us next turn. Well, he probably can is the problem. He probably just has us dead as a troll. He's got Rancor, and if he has 2 other creatures, that's it. Ugh. Well, we have to assume he doesn't have it. So I guess with the shenanigans there, we may have wanted to keep the Grafdigger's Cage in, especially with Blood Artist. Yeah. This is a slightly different version. Well, we still almost got there. Swinging for 8, get him to 4, and then promptly lose. Okay. Well, I think... Yeah, cages are probably pretty important. We bring in cage. What do we cut? Kind of tempted to cut the passage and the, maybe shave at Jace. Jace is still pretty good. Honestly, might be even too slow though. We take these out, bring in the cages, put the armor back in. Let's try it like this. And this hand is just fine. So now if we can draw a land, we're in pretty good business. Being on the play definitely helps also, but Cackler. Alright. Now if we draw a land, we're really in good shape here. Okay, so instead I think we actually just drop Attention Sphere on his messenger. The next turn, play both enchantments. Tribute to Hunger. Yuck. Okay, that was definitely unexpected. Did not know they had that in their boards, but that definitely hurt. Luckily, we drew into a Stalker. Very happy to see, and so now we're just going to go ahead and drop a Divine Favor here. I mean, we could drop Spectral Flight also, but gain some life here. Unless he has Tribute number 2. Alright, so if we Spectral Flight Favor, go to 20, swings back for 6, and we swing in for 5. 3-turn clock, and that just barely works. If he has any kind of, if he draws Rancor, he could upset that. But I think we need to go for it. So we're not getting any better by sitting here. and luckily he drew a duress, which really helped. So he has no choice but to bash in for 6. We drop to 14, next turn he drops to 4, and it doesn't quite get there. That should do it. Yep. So, first round against green-black zombies. Get there. As you can see, it's a lot of fun to play. We are going to go ahead and do another one here real quick.